Man, it's killing me what the video game industry is doing to games. I've been so I didn't play much video games until about high school, but man, I got so into it and I've loved them so much since. I've had such a respect for the video game community and I've loved so many different franchises. One of my favorites being the God of War franchise. Um, I have a PS4. I've had a PlayStation for a while, but it's just killing me what all these companies are choosing to do and the direction they are choosing to take when it comes to video games. And I mean, the biggest thing is loot boxes, and so inherently, I'm not against loot boxes, but what I am against is putting together half-ass games, putting together some loot boxes, and then just robbing kids and those kids' parents of money from random chance. When the hell have video games gone from skill, fun, story to random chance? You spend actual money to randomly get something. Like where was that line crossed? And I'll tell you where it was crossed. It was crossed in the gaming industry. Mobile games, were more inclined to be got bad grammar, more inclined to be bought when they were free. So what did gaming companies do for mobile games is they came out with free games with alternatives of making money, which came about being loot boxes eventually. And that's but man, I mean, I understand. I mean, obviously, I understand why they're such a big thing, but it just breaks my freaking heart. It breaks my heart to see this happen to the gaming industry. Um, it's honestly, it comes down to capitalism at its finest, which isn't a bad thing. Like I'm all for capitalism, obviously, especially if you've heard some of my other videos, but. Let's talk about the reasons I find problem in it. Let's talk about the reasons why it's not good. If you're a gamer in the gaming industry, why it's possibly a bad thing. Why you should not support it. Even though you're getting that free game, you're getting it's free though. I just have to download it. I don't have to spend any money. Why you should take a second, think about it, and reconsider whether that's the right thing. Even though it's free. Yeah, it's free, but is it the right thing for the gaming industry? Let's get into details. I'd say the first thing, let's just get right off the bat. First thing I think's wrong is teaching kids to gamble. That's what it's doing. It's teaching a whole generation of kids, and it's teaching a generation to value random chance, to value putting their money in something with no guarantee. And I've come to think in my life and the way I live, almost every single dime I put in almost anything, I have the thought of, will this pay out? Will this offer me anything of value? Whether that value is sentimental, if it's maybe gaining more value as an investment over time. Maybe it's just bringing my life something that it lacks. Does it bring it value? But I can tell you for certainty that these loot boxes, to any substantial degree, they are not bringing any value to these kids' lives. It's just giving them a cool skin or what have you to kind of brag to their friends about. But it's not changing the gameplay, so it's not changing anything like that. It's just basically, it's at the end of the day, it's bragging about how much money you freaking spent to get whatever freaking skin you wanted or whatever gun customization or whatever. It just comes down to a point of like burning money and not valuing what that money's value is compared to the in-game item. When it comes to those free games, I've always I've played them, sure. Have I spent money on them? Almost unanimously, no. I'm just not a cosmetic kind of player. I'm all about gameplay. I'm about gameplay, story, what kind of experience it has to offer me. That's what I'm about. And I get it. Some people are more into the skins, the customization, and that's cool. That's what they're about. Right on. That's what the gaming industry can do. It can give everyone what they want and make us all unite. But loot boxes is something that it's the problem with it is that it's bringing in money. It's bringing in a separate factor and a reality factor, not just an in-game factor, where, hey, you want that whatever it is, well, you have a chance of getting it if you pull out your pocket or pull out your mom's, purse and spend a little money, that is the worst message you could send to kids is to use money for something like that. That's but let's talk about EA. EA's stock hasn't been dropping. It hasn't faltered a whole lot. This is 2019. It's regarded as one of the worst freaking companies, and it's regarded as a terrible gaming company. You can say that all you want, but when it gets down to it, they've put out product after product that have been making them money. And so why would they change? They're making money. And can I fault them for it? No, I can't fault them for it at all. The fault is that I wouldn't blame anyone in particular. You just have to blame that happened to be something that got released, or someone thought of it, and it became a main monetization of gaming. And that's where the blame is. But what can we do about to fix it? Well, I think 2018's God of War. Sure, I'm a God of War fanboy, and it's an example that a lot of people give. But games like that, we're Dark Souls, big fan of the Dark Souls franchise. They are giving the community something that everyone can cherish. It is fantastic gameplay, good story, like in God of War's case, fantastic story. Graphics are amazing. For what? You pay him $60 once. Maybe there's a DLC, but that's it. That you give them what they're due for a great game, and you play a great game. But that's the problem is, in today's gaming climate, you aren't guaranteed a great game with that $60 anymore. And so why get a $60 game when you can get a free game? If it's shit, then whatever, it was free. If it's not, you can spend a little money on cosmetics or whatever. And so it just puts me in such a bind, because it breaks my heart that studios and they're focusing on the wrong type of area in gaming. They're starting to go towards how can we squeeze out as much money throughout the gameplay, throughout the story, or throughout the experience of the game. How can we squeeze more money out of people, rather than just thinking about how can we make this the best damn game you can freaking get. Let's make this the game of 2019. Let's make this the game of 2020. Companies aren't out for that anymore. They don't want to get that title. It's not worth it for them. It's a big risk when you make this. You spend millions of dollars on a game that's going to cost everyone $60. That's a risk. You don't know what you have until the community tells you what you have. And if the community deems you unworthy, well, you're out a lot of money. But if it's free, you lessen the risk. That's what if you're going to talk about business model, I'm a business model kind of guy. I like talking business models. If you're talking business model wise, it's a great way to mitigate the risk, and it's a great way to get margins of revenue larger than you could with just a standard flat price of $60. And I mean, oh God, man, it really breaks my heart. But yeah, this article, I mean, I just have it up, but I just want to talk and rant, I guess, a little bit. But it just talks about loot boxes turning full price PC games into pay to win. And this was talking about the Battlefront. This was kind of older. It's talking about Battlefront 2 when it was going to be pay to win. Huge Reddit, downvoted comment or whatever of EA. They ended up taking the pay-to-win aspect out. Honestly, I've heard that Battlefront 2 is pretty solid now in 2019. They've reworked it quite a bit. It's not a bad game. Obviously, there's loot boxes to give people what they want, I guess, or to make money, to make money off of it. But, oh man, I don't think there's a clear fix to this problem other than companies just taking that risk, such as Santa Monica Studios with God of War, or say what's it, Sekiro, or I know I'm butchering the name, but it's the new game by the makers of Dark Souls with the ninja samurai theme. It's games that take that risk, that have built a community, or say Elder Scrolls. Now Bethesda, let's get into Bethesda a little bit. They're starting to walk that tightrope. They're trying to get in on that loot box system. We can see that with their newest Elder Scrolls Blades mobile game. I've played it a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little game. It's got some cool story elements. It's got a cool 3D. It's not super open world, but it's slightly kind of open areas. But they've got, the whole chest box unlocking, whatever you want to call it, system. Which for a mobile game, I'm not going to dock them for it. But they've had some backlash. Fallout 76. I know it was an online game. I'm not sure what all the problems with that was. I was never a huge Fallout fan personally, but all I gotta say is that Bethesda's walking thin ice with the way they've been making games and rushing releases lately. And I know they're not doing that with Elder Scrolls 6. I know they're putting in the time, but they gotta watch themselves, or they could lose the high standing they have in the gaming community. I know for some people they've already lost it, but they gotta fight for it, fight for that standing that everyone loves with titles like Skyrim and Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. They've just got to be careful, and a lot of other gaming companies need to be careful too, with their standing with the community. Community is what bolsters up these companies. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Maybe I don't know, maybe I just can't rationally think of a good way that the gaming community can adjust for these newcomers of loot boxes and these new styles of games. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you think it's right, if you think it's wrong, if you think they're ruining all these studios' mentality for coming up with games. Are they ruining that? Are they going to come out with worse and worse products? So is the peak of our gaming industry, has it reached its peak? Is it going to decline? I don't think so, but it could. Let me know what you think. Comment below if you want to talk about it, and subscribe for more content similar to this one. Thanks. Bye.